So I have a series on this channel where I react to NBA TikToks. And I think it's time to give the people what they want, man. I think it's time to give the people what they want. Shout out to Boom. Let's see what these are about. Let's see what these are about.
But y'all old heads keep telling me Mike had all this comp in the 90s. Let's check out the top 10 players of the 90s. Bleacher Report seems to be a reliable source.
My man said Bleacher Report is a reliable source. Alright, bro. Alright.
2, Hakeem Olajuwon, probably the greatest two-way player we've ever seen, but he played in the West. Number 3, David Robinson, he played in the West, Mr. Quadruple Double, but he didn't have to see him in a 7-game series. Number 4, Karl Malone, he played in the West. Scottie Pippen was his teammate.
Oh, he's really getting us now. Hold on.
Mike played with a top 5 player. Number 6, Shaquille O'Neal. He was a rookie in the beginning of Mike's prime. Like lucky he didn't see prime Shaq. Number 7, Charles Barkley, MVP, but he played in the West. Number 8, John Stockton, leader in steals and assists, but he played in the West. Number 9, Clyde Drexler, didn't have a left hand, but he played in the West. And number 10, Patrick Ewing, who was a choke artist and never won anything.
He finally brings up a player from the East and he just calls him a choke artist. That's wild. But essentially, what he's trying to say is that all of Mike's comp was just in the West. Like Mike never had to run into anyone in the East. And to that I say, let's talk about LeBron's. Let's talk about LeBron's. Because the Golden State Warriors, the mighty Golden State Warriors, he only faces them twice a year in the regular season. Only in the finals. Steph, KD, Clay, Draymond, all in the Western Conference. Kawhi, Tim Duncan, all in the Western Conference. Kobe, he never had to run into Kobe. And when he ran into Dirk, what happened? Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, all in the West. Steve Nash, all in the West. The fact is a majority of LeBron's comp has been in the Western Conference as well. But also, I swear to God, we're watching 2 different games sometimes. I swear to God. Because when you looked at a team like, let's say, the Utah Jazz is here, or the Phoenix Suns, we know just by watching them play that good teams don't have to have all the superstars in the world. You can be a great team and not have superstar talent. This idea that you can't be a great team unless you have a shit ton of Hall of Famers is just not true. It's just not true. And we've seen it before in NBA history. So I don't get why when people talk about Jordan's comp in the East, who do you have to face? Patrick Ewing? Like those Knicks teams as a whole, as a unit, because it's a team game, weren't solid teams. The Magic, the Pacers, the Heat. Like, come on, bro. What are we doing? But I know he got more TikTok, so let's check it out.
If you're a fan of Michael Jordan, answer to this one. Don't keep telling me Michael Jordan was the best. What in the fuck was he even the best at? What on the court separates Michael Jordan from the rest of the superstars in NBA history? I try to say he was the best scorer, but Kobe and Will had higher scoring games and Kareem had more points.
Yo, let me replay that. Let me replay that. No, he didn't just say that.
I try to say he was the best scorer, but Kobe and Will had higher scoring games and Kareem had more points. Well, y'all try to.
Oh my God, that's our measuring stick. That's our measuring stick of how we wanna rank the best scorers. Who has higher scoring games? Devin Booker has a 71-point game. What does that say? Yo, what are we doing here? Kareem has more total points. That's why he's a better scorer than Jordan. That's wild. That's wild because essentially what you're saying is right now, you're not going to say LeBron is a better scorer than Kareem until he passes him in the all-time rankings. Up until that time span, nah, Kareem's a better scorer. But as soon as he ups Kareem's total career points by 1, immediately LeBron is a better scorer all time. That's how that works. Also in this conversation, where's Karl Malone? Where's Karl Malone, man? He has to be a top 3 scorer of all time.
Try to say he was the greatest dunker when he's not Vince Carter. Well,
who cares about dunking?
Well, his mid-range is absolutely ridiculous. I don't even shoot mid-range no more. And do you realize Kevin Durant is a better mid-range shooter? So is Brandon Bass, technically.
I don't get why he's bringing up KD and Brandon Bass if it doesn't matter. Brandon Bass, really? If anyone has watched Brandon Bass, I've watched Brandon Bass. He was on the Celtics. Literally, all of his mid-range buckets came from a pick and pop. A pick and pop. You're comparing Brandon Bass's mid-range game to a motherfucker that can cross you up, go between the legs, hezzy, pull up, pump fake. Like, yo, what are we what are we doing?
I mean, MJ's handle was okay. The tween against Bird was cute. But is it Kyrie? Is it Allen Iverson? Is it James Harden? He most definitely wasn't the greatest wing defender. That guy was on his team. What the fuck was Michael Jordan the best at?
That's crazy. That's crazy. Maybe he was a great all-around player. Maybe he was a great all-around player. Have you ever thought of that? Maybe that's why everyone, is enthralled with Michael Jordan's resume and the numbers he's put up and his game overall, is because he's a great all-around player. The same with Kobe, the same with LeBron. These are motherfuckers that may not be the best in any sort of skill, but they're so good in so many areas of the game. That's why a lot of people gravitate to their game and look up to them. Let's just be honest. You're trying to bring up LeBron. He's trying to bring up LeBron. If we're just keeping it a buck, links in the description. He's trying to bring up LeBron. What exactly is LeBron the best at in any sort of skill? Scoring, until he passes Kareem, in the all-time rankings, he's a better scorer. Until he scores 100 points in a game like Will, he's not going to be a better scorer than Wilt. Passing, LeBron is one of the best passers I've ever seen. But I'm not going to knock you if you said Magic Johnson's a better passer. I'm just not. I'm sorry. Rebounding, definitely not that. Defense, there are better defenders all time, more versatile defenders all time. If you say LeBron has the best handles of all time, you're smoking crack. That's what you're doing. You're smoking crack. Dunking, he's not Vince Carter either. Meanwhile, with Jordan, you can actually make a very, very strong argument that he is the greatest scorer of all time. For him to average 30 for his career on damn near 50% shooting, for him to average like 33 in the playoffs with the amount of games he played on that efficiency, some years averaging 44, 45 in the playoffs, 10-time scoring champion. And I understand scoring champions are very flawed, but he has 10 of them. That has to count. That has to count for something.
How can you be the GOAT when you're not even the greatest in any single category?
If that's the criteria, then I guess Steph Curry has a better case for a GOAT than LeBron James. What are we doing?
I need you old heads to help me understand. How is Michael Jordan better than Kobe Bryant? Well, when I ask y'all what makes Mike so good anyway, y'all say scoring. Kobe had more points. Kobe had an 81-point game.
That's really his criteria. I find that wild. That it wasn't just in one video. This is the second video now where he's mentioned his criteria for you being a better scorer than another player is total points and the max you've scored in a game. Yo.
Here come the 6-0 hoes. Didn't Kobe have 5?
That's still not 6. All right.
Everybody should be grown up now to understand that all championships don't hold the same value. Winning 2 with Pau Gasol is more impressive than any of the three-peats. Especially the one.
Any of the three-peats. Wow.
With Rodman, Kukoc, and he had a weak-ass East. But he had Shaq. Kobe was averaging 28, 5, and 5 in their first championship run.
I need to check that. 28, 5, and 5 in their first championship run. He lied. He put up 23, 5, and 6 in their first championship run.
Michael Jordan lost to the Celtics with Danny Ainge guarding him? Why do they say Mike lost to a super team? Who was the Jordan defender on that team? Larry Bird had 5 Hall of Famers. How are the Celtics a deep team with no bench? Danny Ainge? Mike was in his prime scoring the most in the 80s. Why couldn't he beat Larry and Kevin McHale? So scary defensively. Name one player on there.
That's why. I said wow so many times, bro. Holy shit. So not only is he discrediting Jordan now, he's discrediting Bird and that whole fucking team, bro.
Other than Bill Walton. Bill Walton was out his prime. What was Robert Parrish good at? He didn't even have a post game. Where's he rank on the all-time centers? Not even top 25. Kevin McHale was good, but how much defense did he play? Larry Bird just had the better supporting cast. He didn't have stars on that team. Where does Dennis Johnson rank? Just name one player from that bench. Larry made his teammates better. Who was Larry Bird, Scottie Pippen? Larry would have dragged the Bulls to the finals in the 80s.
I don't know he just hates Jordan. Let's look at the 1986 Boston Celtics. Won 67 games. The number 1 defense in the league. And they're not a great defensive team because they don't have a fucking Kawhi Leonard on their team. When they have Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, and Dennis Johnson. 9-time all-defensive team member Dennis Johnson. When people call the Brooklyn Nets a super team, is that dependent on their depth? I don't think so. When people were calling the KD Warriors a super team, that wasn't dependent on their depth. When you have Larry Bird, a top 10 player of all time, 2 all-star caliber players alongside you in Kevin McHale and Robert Parrish. When Kevin McHale is still giving you 21 points, 8 rebounds, and 2 blocks a game on 57% shooting. When Robert Parrish is still good enough to give you 16 points and 10 rebounds on 55% shooting. When Dennis Johnson is one of the best defender guards in the league, and he's still able to give you 16 points and 6 assists on 46% shooting. You have one of the best shooters in the league in Danny Ainge, Bill Walton coming off your bench giving you 8 points, 7 rebounds, and a block in 20 minutes a game, being coached by one of the best coaches in the league in Casey Jones. I don't think I've seen anyone go to lengths Boom has to discredit Jordan with these, I'm going to just say these dumbass arguments.
Steph Curry did not revolutionize the way we play today's game by himself. Now I understand that Curry is the greatest shooter we've ever seen. And most likely be the greatest point guard if he can pass Magic. But I keep hearing people say he eliminated bigs in today's game. No, he did not. The versatility of LeBron.
Who says that? Let me know. I have never heard anyone say Curry got rid of bigs. I'm being so dead ass. I've never heard that argument. I've heard Curry has made bigs shoot more threes. Oh my God, bro.
LeBron James is what eliminated the effectiveness of bigs in today's game. Not only the versatility because he can guard 1 through 5, but also the system that's placed around him on the offensive side. Now we all know what this is. Surround LeBron with shooters, allow him to penetrate and kick to the corner. He's the greatest corner pocket passer I've ever seen. This forced bigs around the league to have to play perimeter defense, which shrunk their minutes on the floor. Does that make sense? LeBron James and the Miami Heat was running small ball way before the Warriors were. Why don't we talk about that? Chris Bosh was really the pioneer for the small ball 5, shooting more threes than he had his entire career just because he played with LeBron. It's nice to have an unselfish superstar. Steph did not eliminate bigs. He changed the volume of threes, giving everybody a green light.
You know, it's crazy for his original take to be Steph didn't change the game alone by himself. For him to really, let's just be honest, he really just talked about LeBron. He could have brought up other players. Like he could have brought up Kevin Durant. He could have brought up Kevin Love. He could have brought up Kevin Love. He could have brought up other players in this discussion. He could have brought up Chris Webber. He could have brought up he could have brought up Kevin Garnett in this discussion. But the rest of this TikTok is just LeBron meat riding, bro. That's
How the fuck is Michael Jordan better than Larry Bird offensively?
Okay, so he already put a caveat on it.
He averaged 24 and 10. And he averaged more assists. Larry shot more threes. And they shot the same field goal percentage. Larry ain't have no 6'8" partner that can guard all the other stars on the other side of the court so I can score all the points. Larry Bird had to go against a tougher era of basketball. Remember, guys, it was more physical. And check! You Jordan fans love free throw percentage. Larry had better IQ than Michael Jordan. He made Kevin McHale a star. I understand he had a post game, but he not even a top 5 power forward.
I don't know, bro. There are a couple series in Larry Bird's career where Kevin McHale low-key outplayed him in the playoffs, but let's not talk about that.
What was Robert Parrish good at other than being durable? Seemed like an average center. Believe it or not, Larry Bird was
Robert Parrish was not an average center. What?
Better transition player than Mike. Why? He was a better rebounder. Often he'll push the ball up the court, find his teammates. Mike was usually looking for a highlight. Other than inside scoring, what is Michael Jordan better than Larry Bird at? Larry was more clutch. Wait, Mike never beat Larry, did he? Better shooter, rebounder, passer.
Okay, so it's just the best all-around game. Okay, I mean, I get that argument, but my whole thing is this idea that the fact that Jordan had Scottie Pippen was the reason why he could score so many points. You know what I'm saying? Because he can just take the night off on defense and just focus on scoring. That doesn't make sense. When you come out the gate in your rookie year and average 28 points a game without Scottie in the league, how? Mind you, the 28.2 Jordan average in his rookie year will be the 3rd highest scoring season in Bird's career. And if we go back to the 1986 series versus the Boston Celtics, the super team, great defensive team Boston Celtics, I don't give a fuck what he says. That is a great defensive team. Against that team, without Scottie Pippen, look on the screen right now. Let me know if y'all see Scottie Pippen, and I'll shut my channel down if you guys see Scottie Pippen on the screen right now. Jordan averaged 44 points on 51% shooting without Scottie Pippen. And then the season after that postseason, Jordan arguably had the best scoring season of his career, where he averaged 37 points a game on 48% shooting, once again, without Scottie Pippen. Without Scottie Pippen. So this idea that Jordan needed Scottie to score is stupid. Yo, it's stupid. What are we doing? If y'all want me to do more of these reactions, go ahead and leave a like. Give me some feedback in the comment section down below. But I'm out. Peace.